Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, I am so excited on today. My head is spinning because God is doing some great things. Now, He gave me this wonderful topic, sweetheart. So you're going to need your journal, sweetheart. You're going to need your journal and your mug, honey. And you're gonna have to light a candle for this because this is our new candle, sweethearts. Yes, with the ice cubes. So get your candle lit, get your journal, set the mood to receive what God has for you on today. Sweetheart, it is going down. Now, as you guys can see, the topic of today is, do you know you? Do you know you? Release to unleash the real you. Simple. You would think it's simple, but it's not. It's deeper than what meets the eye. We have to go beyond the cover. So, in this cover, because God is uncovering all of this, honey. He said all of it. Not some of it, not part of it, not a little bit of it, but all of it. So, it's about to get deep. Now, let's start with the beginning. God is telling us to first he asks, do you know you? Because you want to keep saying, honey, they don't know me. They don't know. But do you know you? You think you know you, but do you really know you? Because there was times that, I thought, honey, I knew Shanidra. I knew who I was, I knew it. No, I did not even know. People would ask me something very simple. What do you like to do? I couldn't even answer that question. Like, it was to the point to where I couldn't even answer that question. I'm like, what do I like? I didn't even know me. But we expect everybody else to know us, and they should know me by now. And they should know. But do you know you? God said, do you know you? They should know you, but do you know you? How will they know you when you don't know you? Or how would you know you when you're not you? He said, how would you know you when you're not even you? Right now, you faking it too. You make people are like, well, you keep saying God is gonna say He never knew us. How will He say that when He do know us? And like He does. But do you know you? You can't know you without the Creator of you. That's just like you can't fully know who you are without knowing who your parents are. Even foster children want to find out who they are and who by finding who their parents are, because they're going to have characteristics of their parents whom they came from. Now it's going to get deep because I don't know where God is going to go. So God is saying you're not going to be able to know you without Him. You think you know you, but you don't know you. Do you know you? Because you don't know Him. Until you know Him, you don't know you. When He said He never knew you, that's because you act like you don't know Him while you're here on earth. It's all about you, and you did this, and you, and you, and you, and You faking it till you make it with your fake self. But you don't even know yourself. You haven't even released the resentment, the contentment. You haven't released none of that to unleash you. You are so clogged up. Your toilet is so clogged up that we can't even flush it. We're going to have to get a whole plumber to plunge all that nastiness out. Because you've been faking it till you make it all this time. And God said, do you know you? Do you know you? Because you can't know you without God, the creator of you. You can't know you. You don't know you. You don't even know what you like. I didn't even know what I like. I thought I knew, but I had no clue of what I like to do. God had to show me. And the very things that I thought, like this video, me doing videos, I thought that I did not like being in front of the camera, which I'm still not sure if I like doing it, but, I didn't know that, I like doing this. But it's very refreshing to always hear from God and God to speak through you and all that. It's awesome. This is the best experience ever. So I'll speak in front of the camera all day, every day. But God had to show me, he said, it's not that you didn't like being in front of the camera. You was just concerned and under restraint because you were too busy worrying about what other people was going to think. Because you're too busy thinking, oh, well, they only think of me as a photographer. He said, it don't matter what they think. It's what I tell you you are. And you're going to do what I tell you to do. Period. Period. So, do you know you? Do you? You can't know you. You are clogged up. You need to release, to unleash you. You can't hear anything. Your ears are clogged. You can't hear it. You can't hear nothing. Nothing. Because you're too busy talking and not walking. God said you're too busy talking and not walking it. He said, don't be hearers of my words, but be doers also. So he don't want you to just hear his word and just repeat his word. He wants you to do his word. Period. Live his word. This body of yours is not yours. It's you're supposed to give it as a living sacrifice. And we're gonna get deep into his words, sweetheart. Because God always backs what he says in his word. So it's about to get deep because he's trying to help you know you. Because right now you don't know your ears are clogged up. You can't even hear nobody because you're so defensive. You can't even hear nothing. You can't even see because you that clogged up. You haven't released anything. You're walking around with resentment, contentment. You're walking around with all of this stuff and wondering why. And that's because you have not released. You will never unleash until you release. I'm not going to unleash my dog. Thank you, Lord. I'm not going to unleash my dog until she releases her behavior. If she acting wild, she's going to stay on the leash until she can prove to me that she can be unleashed. But right now, I can't just let her run around because she's been okay. She has been wild in the wilderness. So I have to restrain her and to quarantine her in order for her to get her under some restraint. So once I get her under some restraint, then I can allow her to move freely because she will understand and know where she can go and how to move. But until then, she's going to be leashed until she can get some act right. And that's what God is saying. Right now, you putting yourself on a leash because you haven't released. And the definition of release is to allow or enable to escape from confinement. I just said that. To escape from confinement, to set free. Let go, girl. It says free, let go. To move, to act or flow freely. I couldn't move or act or flow freely because I was too busy worried about, what they're going to think, and this, and that. And I can't wear this. And I can't say that. I can't do it like that. No. What? So I can't be me. See, if we continue to be controlled by others and not by our Father, we're going to be under some restraint. We're going to be in confinement, in imprisonment, in captivity, in enclosure, in quarantine. We're going to be in isolation because we're not going to, you don't even know what you can wear, what you can do, nothing, because it's like, oh Lord, can I do this? Can I? But if you are in tune with your Father and you are getting divine revelations from your Father, you will know what you can and cannot do because He will tell you clearly. It's no sugarcoating, no gray area, because you know how we ask people and we're like, how do you do this, or how can I do this? And we leave, even more confused after we left them. Like, what? They said, try what? Like, but God, He breaks it down, like, to the point where you cannot miss it. Period. It's like, you didn't understand this. Let me break it down even further. Make sure there's no gray areas up in here. You're going to learn today. So, we learn what release means. It means to set free, to flow freely. We can't set free or flow freely if we are too busy in confinement by other people's judgment. There's only one judge. That's our Father. So, even with the dress that I have on today, my Amore Too Classy Boutique spring collection, I was like, oh Lord, they're going to probably say that this is not. He was like, what, who are, please, it's the way that you wear it. My business is Amore Too Classy Boutique. So it's the way that you wear it. As you can see, I have on this beautiful shawl. So you guys can see, but on the sides, it has like this. But it's the way that I wear it so that it can look classy and not trashy. Simple. So, but if I wanted to just focus on, oh gosh, they're going to think this, and they're going to say that I'm not this, and I said, you're imprisoning yourself. For what? For what? Do you know you? That's the question. Do you know you? Have you released what God has been trying to help you release? Right now, you have too much baggage. I can tell you because I had a lot of baggage that I did not know I had. I thought I was straight. I thought I was basically halfway decent, which I am. But when God is dealing with you, you be like, "What in the world?" Because he doesn't sugarcoat anything. So don't be in denial. Do you know you? That's the question of today. And you can't know you without God. A foster child cannot know himself or herself without knowing where they came from. You can't. And thus far, you have been doing the things of this world. So you are losing yourself because you're too busy trying to please everyone else. Period. You pleasing everyone else and you're not pleasing yourself. You're living for everyone else but yourself. So you're losing yourself. Do you know you? Release that hurt from your parents. Release that hurt from your boyfriend or girlfriend. Release that abandonment. Release that contentment. Release that resentment. God said release it so he can unleash it. So you can unleash your gifts. Your head is clouded. There's no possible way that you can hear clearly what God is trying to tell you to do because you're doing too much. Right now you are doing too much. You're doing too much. I don't know who he's talking to, but you are doing too much. God said, slow it down. Slow it down. You try not to deal with it or whatever is not helping you find you. You comparing you to him or her is not helping you know you. You can't continue to follow what he or she is doing. You can't think that, oh, well, that's how God blessed her or him. So that's how he's going to bless. No. And you're not going to get to where they are by trying to copy what they did. Because you don't know what we go through. Period. Period. So it's about to get deep because I'm gonna help you guys out with release and unleash and what quarantine means and all of that, so you guys can understand clearly what God is saying. Because right now it's like, oh, whatever, she just talking. Oh, whatever. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. You are. You are. You are. Everything that you say that you're not, you are. I'm not that. Honey, I'm not this and I'm not. Honey, yes, you are. That's exactly what you are. Exactly. Do you know you? Or are you in denial? I told y'all I will be yelling at somebody. Stop. And they be like, stop yelling. I'm not yelling. I'm tired of everybody saying that I'm yelling at them. I'm not yelling. While I'm yelling. Why do people keep saying? Because that's what you're doing. Why can't you see that? That's what God is saying. What? Do you know you? Do you know you? You don't. You're in denial. You're in this fantasy world of who you think you are. You're thinking more of yourself than what you really are. Now, if you want to be who you think you are, then do that in your actions. Thank you. Do it in your actions. But talking like you are just more than what you are is not helping you out. Because you're really not in tune with who you are. Do you know you? They keep saying this and that about me, and I know that's not me. And is it not you? Or is it you? Are you in denial of who you are? Because half the time, now, I'm not saying that everybody is right about what they say about you, because people make up lies and try to defame. That's all in the Bible too. But what I'm saying is, God will deal with that. Don't worry about things. But some of the things that people are saying is true about you. And until you deal with you and realize what you need to fix and quit worrying about everybody else and what they need to fix and how they need to fix it and what they need to be doing and what do you need to be doing. God said, what do you need to be doing? Quit worrying about them. What do you need to be doing? I've noticed a lot about, even talking to my son. It's like he can see I have to put it in somebody, like I have to say exactly what he's doing and say, it's like, Bob is, whatever. And, he was like, well, Bob should blah, 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 blah. Well, Bob is you. Is that the only way you can see you? Is if I say somebody else? You can always see what somebody else is doing and how they need to do this. He said, quit focusing on the speck in someone else's eye, the crumb in somebody else's eye. When you have a big plank in your own eyes, you can't even see you. You can't even see you. How do you know you when you can't even see you and your actions? I'm not doing that, and I'm not. That's like you slapping somebody in the face and you telling them that you did not slap them in the face. But then in the same sentence you say, well, you shouldn't have made me slap you. But you just said you didn't slap. Well, if I did, then. So where are you at? Where are you at? Because you're not here in reality. You're delusional. You're somewhere else. God said, what you not going to do? And then you want to claim that you're a man or woman of God. You have to live this life. You have to have your body as a sacrifice to God. You can't do you? What? Please. You shall surely die. You're not gonna just do anything and how you want to do it. But y'all look at the word as they because it's trying to change me and it's trying to make me, and that's not who I am, and I'm not gonna be under. But you are. That job got you there all day, every day. All day, every day. And God is just trying to tell you that He can bless you with doing what you like to do. But see, you don't know what you like to do because you don't know you. You think you're doing it the right way and the way that makes sense and all that. No, that's because you don't know you. You know the things that you like to do, but you are too afraid to be you. How do I know? I've had these visions all my life. I mean, my mind has been so graphic all my life. But I've tried to not be me, to because I just felt different. And I'm like, well, why do I see things? Why am I hearing this? Well, I'm just going to act like I don't hear that because people going to think I'm crazy. Well, we're going to be God made us a peculiar person. We're going to look crazy in other people's eyes. Every time I say, Lord download, and they'll be like, what? I asked you, how did you start? I'm telling you how I started. He downloaded this vision and he did this and that. I wrote the whole Destined to Be God book with him talking in my head. I've read it after I did it, but I had no clue really what it said until after I did it, because I was just typing as God downloaded, and then I didn't start going through some of the stuff until after I did the Destined to Be God book. But I used to try, to act normal, not be me. So how could I know me when I'm trying not to be me? The characteristics that are me, I'm like, oh no, people gonna think it's crazy. People gonna think I'm crazy. Oh my gosh. But now I found me in God. Don't worry about what people say anymore. Please. I'm worried about what my Father has to say about me. Now he gives me the real. And that's what I like. I want you to tell me the truth. Don't push me on and say, oh girl, you don't, and I'm out here looking crazy. So God said, you don't know you. You don't know you. You need to release. Release. I had a lot of, I would say, abandonment issues. Um, and I had a wonderful stepfather, but it's nothing like, I said, your biological. Because you want to know. And part of me was that I was confused about was mostly my daddy's characteristics. I'm a lot like him, but without having him in my life, I did not understand myself. I did not understand why I think the way I think, and because I did not know my father, my earthly father or my heavenly. I did not know him. So I'm thinking I'm weird or something's wrong with me because I did not know my father. I didn't know his characteristics. All I'm looking at is one parent. And I'm looking like, dang, I really don't have a lot in common with the parent that I'm with. So what's wrong with me? Because I came from this parent. So why am I? And even, the parent will be like, what in the world? You're nothing like me. This and that. And, you hear that and you're like, well, what is wrong with me? And, where's my daddy? And, and you don't know nothing about your father. So you're out here lost. I was lost, feeling abandoned, feeling unwanted because I thought that he did not want me, but he did. And that's God said that's how we are treating him. You're acting like God don't want you. He do. But you haven't talked to him for yourself. You're hearing what they are telling you. But he's saying, let him tell you. Allow him to tell you. He hasn't, he never left you. Period. He still loves you. He still wants you. It's not that he don't want you. Oh, God don't want me because I know I don't. He do. I thought that my daddy didn't want me because of what others said. Until I asked my father what, from him. Then that's when I was like, oh, so you did want, oh, so you've been fighting for me. Oh, so you know. So then once you start realizing like, hey, God never left me. Just like my father never left me. Oh, and he still loves me. And he's always loved me. You start feeling a little bit better about yourself. Like, okay, so I am wanted. And then to be wanted by the Most High. Come on now, honey. Honey, to be in this wonderful family with my Heavenly Father is so amazing. To be wanted by my Father, by my Heavenly Father, that trumps all of it. He is the Father of the fatherless, sweetheart. You need to get to know Him. He still wants you. He said, stop thinking that He don't want you. Because that's not helping you to release. You won't release it because you're still in that mindset of thinking He does not want you. He does. Well, why would I have to go through this? Well, that's the same thing I felt with my biological. Why did I have to grow up without him? Why? If he wanted me, why do I have to go through all of this? Why me? Why I don't have my father? But God does everything for a reason. And it's not because He does not love us or He doesn't want us. It's to grow us. Period. Closer to Him. Because with me not being around my father or whatever, living with my father, knowing who my father was or whatever. I knew who my father was. Thank you, Lord. Let me clear that up. Always. That's very evident in our face. But, with him not being around as much, I was able to, I spent more time during the summers over my great grandmother's house, which is my first heart. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I have to tell, I guess, my business. So I went with I stayed with my first heart, my great grandmother, and every summer, every weekend, that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go there over my great grandmother's house. I always like being around old people. I don't know why. And every night we will be in the Word. Every night she taught me the Word. And so I look forward to every night getting the Word. Now, if my daddy was around, I probably wouldn't have, been in the Word as much as I was in as a child. But since, I had a closer relationship with God, I was gaining that relationship with God. So He was just growing me up so I would have the knowledge of Him and not them. God said He was growing me up to have the knowledge of Him and not them. Because so many times after we find out who our parents are or how they were or whatever, we start mimicking or doing some of the things, repeating some of the things that they have done. And God said He is trying to change that. He's trying to restrain from us going to that. He's trying to get us into His knowledge in His way, Yahweh, and not their way. Because as we are parents and adults, we know that, some of the things that we've done, we don't want our children doing. I want my daughter. I was a virgin all through high school because I planned on being married first. It's the whole point in being a virgin all through high school and after high school. I had my first kid until I was in my 20s. My second child, of course, in my late 20s. So I'm just saying, God is saying He wants you to learn Him. Ask Him. Come to Him. Period. Go to God. Because you don't know if God is a woman or a man. Go to God. He wants you to go to him. Go to God. Period. Come to him. Stop all your wicked ways. Turn from your wicked ways and come to him. Release that abandonment feeling thinking he don't want you. Or that abandonment feeling from your parents. And come to him. He is the father of the fatherless. So he can restore you, sweetheart. So you can unleash. But until you release that, you will never unleash. I was under some restraint. I was in confinement. I was not free because I did not release that hurt. And until I released the hurt of feeling abandoned or feeling unwanted or feeling unloved. But I'm telling you what helped me from that, because even after talking to my earthly father, I still, didn't feel, like I should have felt, I guess, after knowing, because of the actions and all that. So God had to love on me. I was in isolation when he was unleashing me. And when you go through the unleashing, now unleashing means to release from a leash or restraint or unloose, unbind, unchain, and unshackle. To let go of, to let fly. When he unleashed me, he unleashed a lot of hurt, so I had to be in isolation. During the time of isolation, which was during quarantine, and he dealt with me and showed me so much love. Everything that I was missing or lacking, he gave it to me. Period. So I lack or want for nothing. I don't need nothing. Now, with that being said, I do want a man, but that don't mean that I need a husband. But what God is saying is release. But you can't release until you get that knowledge from him, until you talk to him, and because you're feeling unwanted. You're feeling like God don't want you. Oh, he don't want me, honey. You don't know what I've done, and he don't want me, and this and that. He does. You just haven't released that feeling because you've been hurt by the church. You've been hurt by this person. You've been hurt by that person. Nobody wants you, and all this and that. And God said he wants you. Period. Release. Cast all your cares and burdens unto him and allow him to direct your path. Acknowledge God in all of your ways. Now, once you do all of that, we're about to get into the word. We're going to be in Exodus, the 19th chapter. And this is when Moses is on Mount Sinai. So, it says, on the first day of the third month after the Israelites left Egypt, on that very day, they came to the desert of Sinai. After they set out to Rephidim, they entered the desert of Sinai, and Israel camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. So they in front of the mountain, they camped. He said, after the Israelites left from Egypt, on the third month, the first day of the third month, they came to the desert of Sinai, and when they entered the desert of Sinai, they camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. So now they're in front of the mountain. Verse 3, it says, Exodus 19th chapter. It says, then Moses went up to God. So now Moses is going up there to God, up the mountain to God. And the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, this is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, and what you are to tell the people of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt. So this is what Moses is supposed to tell them. You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. 5. Now, if you obey me, see, that's why I said, if you obey, we are supposed to have our bodies as a living sacrifice. God said, now, if you obey me fully, not a little bit of you, not part of you, but if you fully obey God and keep his covenant, he's saying, keep my covenant, then out of all nations, you release so that he can unleash all of this stuff. He said, out of all nations, this is what he will unleash if you release. You will be his treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, this is what God said, although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you are to speak to the Israelites. So that's what God said. This is what you need to tell them. If they fully obey me in my covenant, then they will be my treasured possession. Even though, he said, although the whole earth is his, he said, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Release so he can unleash this. Release all your cares and burdens unto him so he can unleash, so you can know you. You don't know you because you haven't released none of this. You under restraint. So Moses went back and summoned the elders of the people and set before them all the words the Lord had commanded him to speak. Verse 8, the people all responded together, we will do everything the Lord has said. So Moses brought their answer back to the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, I am going to come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people will hear me speaking with you and will always put their trust in you. Then Moses told the Lord what the people had said. So then Moses went back down to tell the people what the Lord had said. And the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them. Now, consecrate means is giving yourselves to the Lord as a living sacrifice to deepen our personal knowledge of Christ and to grow in the divine life. That's what consecrate means. So that's why God is asking for you to be consecrated. And it says, the Lord said to Moses, I am going to come to you in a dense cloud so the people will hear me speaking with you and will always put their trust in you. Then Moses told the Lord what the people had said, and the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and be ready by the third day, because on that day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people, but in sight of all the people. 12. Put limits for the people around the mountain and tell them, be careful that you do not approach the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever touches the mountain is to be put to death. So they're supposed to come to the mountain, but do not come up the mountain, because God is going to show his presence there. And anybody that sees him will surely die. So that's why he said, be careful. Tell them not to. There's going to be some limits. They better not come up this mountain. That's what he said. Tell them. So put limits on the people. Be careful that they do not approach the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever touches the mountain is to be put to death, because we're not supposed to see it while we're still living. So they are to be stoned or shot with arrows, not a hand to be laid on them. No person or animal should be permitted to live, only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast made a long blast made they approach the mountain. 14. After Moses had gone down the mountain to the people, he consecrated them. Now I told you consecration, what it means. He consecrated them and they washed their clothes. Then he said to the people, prepare yourselves for the third day. Abstain from sexual relations. Abstain from sexual relations. You can no longer. You need to release that stronghold. That's a stronghold. Anything that's outside of God that you are doing has become a stronghold. You need to release that so he can unleash these things that he has seen. Right now you are under some restraint. Right now you are leashed up. Because you're holding on to all of this. But he said, on the morning of the third day, this is after he said abstain from sexual relations. So you need to be consecrated and abstain from sexual relations. Don't do nothing. On the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning with a thick cloud over the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the foot of the mountain. Remember, because he said you can't go up the mountain. So you got to be at the foot of the mountain. So they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. I mean, look how beautiful that is. The mountain is covered with smoke. See, I'm a visual person, so I'm just visualizing all this stuff. The mountain is covered with smoke because the Lord descended in fire. But y'all can't come up there because you'll surely die because you can't see him. But he's there. So even though you can't see him, he's there with you. Release all of this. He wants you. He loves you. Now, because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled violently. As the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. Just imagine you at the foot of this mountain. At the foot, see, you can't even experience that type of experience with God until you release. He can't even unleash this stuff. He can't even speak to you like this on the mountaintop type of thing because you have not released. You can't even hear him right now. You're too clogged up. Look at this. Look at this experience. Moses spoke and God answered him in front of everybody like he told him he was going to do. So that they can listen to him because they know that the Lord help me stay calm. Okay. Because, honey, I wish y'all could see what I'm seeing right now. So it says the Lord descended. Okay, it says, as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. We're on verse 19 of chapter 19 in Exodus. Moses spoke and the voice of the Lord answered him. The Lord descended to the top of Mount Sinai and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So in front of everybody, God called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses went up and the Lord said to him, go down and warn the people so they do not force their way through to see the Lord. Because, people hear that and they're going to try to come through. So he's like, let them know. They better not come through to see the Lord. And many of them perish. He said, because they're going to perish. Many of them are going to perish if they try to come up here. I didn't call them to come up here. I called you. So many of them are going to try to see what I'm telling you. But I didn't call them. They're going to perish. That's why God said, do you know you? Quit trying to follow and copy them and know who you are. Because you're going to perish trying to follow somebody else. Do you know you? Release all this resentment so he can unleash this type of so you can have this divine experience with God, so he can speak to you. You can't hear him right now. You got too much going on. You need to release it. Or they will perish, like you said. Even the priests who approach the Lord must consecrate themselves, or the Lord will break out against them. Even the priests, period. Moses said in 23, it says, Moses said to the Lord, thank you, Lord. Slow down, Shanae. Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up Mount Sinai because you yourself warned us. Put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy. The Lord replied, go down and bring Aaron up with you. But the priests and the people must not force their way through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out against them. Don't force your way to try to come up their way, or God will come against you because you're not doing it his way. Your way. The way that God has for you to do it. So you're going to cause God to come against you. So it's important for you to know you and for you to release so God can unleash. You can't even have this divine type of experience until you release. He cannot unleash nothing because you can't hear it. If he unleash you right now, you're going to go running everywhere, just like a dog. I got to get you to learn how to listen to me before I can unleash you. Unleash you. God said you haven't built that relationship with him. He can't even unleash you yet because you're going to go out here being wild, doing what you want to do again. You have to, in order to know you, you have to know God. You have to build that relationship with God. You have to release all this stuff to God. You have to be real with you. You don't know you, sweetheart. I didn't know myself. God had to show me because nobody else could tell me about me. Oh, no, I'm not. And now I can honestly say that I'm not, half of the things because, I've learned through God teaching me through these teachable moments, through my bloopers. He made me a trooper. But I had to be real with me to find me. I had to realize, Shanidra, you are yelling. Dang, quit yelling at people. What is wrong? You have to release some of what is wrong with you. But you can't figure out what is wrong with you without God. God showed me, the woman in the mirror. He went beyond my cover. I told you I went to God like, show me, I'm thinking I don't do half of this stuff that everybody else is doing. So, show me, Lord. Honey, you can be in denial all you want, but God will show you. Period. Now, you just didn't know you. I didn't know me. I'm thinking, since I haven't done certain things and since I'm basically, as pure as it could be, that's what I was thinking about myself. I was thinking more of myself than what I was. And God said that that's unacceptable. Because don't think more of yourself than what you are. Like I tell my son, if that's how you see yourself, then be that. But right now, your reality is not that, sweetheart. It's not. It's not close. The reality of you is not that. So be that. What you see yourself as, that's what you need to be. You see yourself as disrespectful and, whatever, then be respectful. Represent yourself as respectful. Period. That's all God is saying. But you don't know you. I did not know me until I had that relationship with God by myself, with me and God. When I went through the quarantine, that was me and God's time. And God dealt with me. I was able to release so he can unleash me. There's no way he was going to let me do these type of videos back then in sin. Period. I had to give my body as a living sacrifice. I'm celibate till marriage. He said, abstain from sexual relations. That's too much, honey. I can't give that. Well, that's fine. And you can't get what you want. You're going to continue to be confined, restrained. So you're going to be, in confinement. You're not going to be able to flow freely because you're trying to do it your way. Quit thinking that you are something that you're not. Do you know you? No, because everybody always trying to say, well, listen, be slow to speak and quick to hear. Listen. I'm not saying that they are right, but listen, be slow to speak before you say anything. Because I used to be ready. Ready. What? What you got to say about me? What? I'm ready. Nope. But now it's like, I listen. And sometimes, it takes me a minute because I may, not hear what you're saying at that moment. But, I always think about it. Like, what are they saying? And then afterwards, it's like, oh, well, I probably was sounding a little irritated. So now, when I realize that I'm a little irritated that day, if I answer the phone, I'm like, right now, I'm a little irritated. You have to be real with you. You have to know you. But if you're in denial of I'm not irritated. I'm fine. What? What? Hey, you saying what like that? That's how I would, I'm fine. What? What is it? What do you want? Never mind. It's like, no, say whatever you got to say. It's like, well, I don't want to talk to you while you're talking like that, So when I realize that I'm irritated off of something else, because I know me, I just let people know, like, hey, it's been a long day or, whatever. Because faking it till you make it, oh, I'm fine. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Honey, whatever. I'm living up. No. Honey, it's been the most. The most been going on, but me and God got this. But, yeah, I'm just letting you know, I sound irritated. It's not nothing towards you. So that they can, be on alert and they won't start getting offensive with you. Because, you start yelling and they could be calm, but then, then all of a sudden. So it's just important to know. Me, I just let people know. Hey, it's just not the time. I'm answering the phone, or sometimes I may text, and if people, why you not answering or whatever, I just have to let it go. Let it go. Because you know you. See, when you know you, and you already know you're on edge, you don't need to answer stuff while you're on edge. But that's when you know you. Because if you don't know you, you're going to start answering stuff while you're on edge, letting people know what it is. I did it. I'm on edge, and, I knew I was on edge, but, I didn't really know me. And I would respond, in denial. And people would be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you responding to me? I'm like, what is that problem? I was already on edge before I even responded to them. Do you know you? That's what God is saying. I had to know me. I had to look at me and realize what I was doing. So that's all God is saying. Do you know you? Have you released anything? Let's go beyond the cover, guys. Let's dig a little bit deeper.